Okay, so this is where we start discussing the parts of the elements of design. And Henry Matisse once said, composition is the art of arranging in a decorative manner the diverse elements at the artist's command to express their feelings. And by now, you all probably have developed a very strong feeling about the subject of your research, the inquiry project. A global problem. You probably definitely have an attitude developed about it because you've been reading about it in so much research. And you've probably already created your own tone towards the subject. And so when you think about how you feel about your subject and what's going on, those are going to be the feelings that guide you in selecting what you want to do on your art project design. So why even bother with using elements of composition? Why not just paste things on the trifold? Just, that looks okay. Well, that looks okay. Well, we're doing it this way because if you create a structure through the compositional elements, then it's going to encourage you to think do a lot of thinking about what you select and where you select and put it, how you put it on your trifold. And you're organizing your visual components in a way that is pleasing to you. You're going to be proud of what you do. And then when your parents come in, they're going to be proud of all the work that they see as well. And like I said, it gives structure to the way your subject is presented. Another thing is when we look at your trifold, the way you design it is going to show us where to go to first. Where's my eyes going to go when I first start looking at your trifold? Then where do they need to go next? You're going to be determining how your viewer looks at your trifold by the techniques that you use.
For mine, I was thinking for the physical bullying part, to draw stitches and then use a stapler to emphasize the stitches, and I can draw an orange banner for the solution to represent bullying awareness.
Orange is a color that's symbolic of bullying awareness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that sounds great. Okay, anybody else? Let's see, Isha.
My topic is oil spills, and I was thinking I could do like an image of a cargo ship like on the ocean, and then there's like, and then it shows the water, and then underneath of the cargo ship is a beluga whale, and it's like looking up at it, like knowing that there's going to be an oil spill because it's doing offshore drilling.
That is really creative. Did you guys hear that? It's really a neat idea. So she's going to, her topic is about oil spills, and she's going to have a well looking up out of the water, and where is this going to be located on your trifold?
For the background, so it's like before it happens, so it's giving like it. I wanted to do this for the background because I felt like it matches like before the problem and the solution happened. So it's like the beginning of what happened.
Okay, so she's going to show the well at the beginning, and it's healthy, and then how are you going to show the well being affected by the oil spills?
So when the oil spill happens, it's like there's like other animals too. So it's smothered in oil. Like it didn't die, but it's like really mad. And then there's another clownfish that's smothered in oil and it's completely covered in oil, and it's like really close to like dying. So it's angry because, so the beluga whale's angry because the clownfish was its best friend. So it's gonna die, but the clownfish survives.
Okay, I love it because the imagery, imagine looking at her trifold and seeing a clownfish and a well covered with oil. That sight imagery is going to affect people just by looking at these wonderful creatures having to deal with oil spills. That's going to tug at people's hearts. So I think that's a great creative idea. Ready? Mm-hmm. So this is a part of the inquiry project where you have indeed designed your trifolds. We don't know which component of art you decide to use, and we're going to see if it worked. If we can figure it out, what you used, and you'll verify if you did use that and why you used it. So, Anika, this is Anika's trifold. Does anybody here think they know what element of composition was used?
I think movement, because in these clocks the hands are moving, so it can show the passing of time. Yeah, so she is correct. So I did the clocks because I wanted to show how teens spend hours and hours on their phone and they never stop.
So how does the clock design show that specifically?
So if you look over here, it says 1 p.m., 2 p.m., and it keeps on going until 12 a.m. So it shows how teens are going on and on for hours and hours, and they're never stopping because they always are losing track of time.
So this is movement, right? Is there anything else you'd like to add?
I'd like to say that I think Anika used imbalance because for the font, because I think the colors represent the people and the dark letters represent the phone addiction and how it's slowly consuming them. I did not actually think of that, but I think that's definitely something that is true. Like, it shows how there's like the dark and there's the good and the bad.
Okay, excellent. Well, let's go on over to this trifold. And I believe, yeah, this is Emily's. So, her compositional element is, does anybody want to guess? Yes.
I like to say it would be patterns because I keep on seeing the cursors, and I think that starts to like resemble like how many number of students who keep on using plagiarism and copy off of work that isn't their own.
So that is a good point. It's exactly what I was going for. I actually am not sure what I'm using, but I think you're right. It is very. It does show that, and yeah. But I think there may be some other.
Does anybody else want to guess about a different element? Alice.
So maybe movement or rhythm because the cursors are like moving. You can see there's like dashed lines, and maybe that's to guide your eyes.
Yeah, I think that was what I was trying to go for. Like those, like for example, if you see that it's like going here, which is the problem number 2, and then this shows here, which is the solution. This shows here. So yeah, the cursors also do try to point to the direction where the cursor is looking at. So you're right, it is moving.
Okay, let's go over here then. I think okay, this is Alice's. Okay, looking at the trifold, does anybody see a certain element of design?
I think movement because in the picture, the clock, the hands, they are like over and they're like moving. That was definitely what I was going for. Like Anika's, her hands were moving too. It's just on separate clocks. This is on one clock. The hands are moving to show the passing of time.
Okay, and do you notice any other elements? Ananya?
So I can sort of see that Alice did a gray into light kind of background. I think the gray is supposed to represent the darkness and phone addiction, and going outside, which is the light part, the sun and the grass, and it's sort of like moving as movement. And it's also imbalance.
And could it be contrast?
It could be contrast. This is like showing how dark it is when you're in phone addiction, like what a stormy house. It's just a really hard path, and then this is how much better it is when you're not